Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm gonna show you how to make Alice in Wonderland pocket watch. I was inspired by a tutorial from Montreal Confections. Marlene posted last year her tutorial on glass Heart Locket filled with candy. And ever since I saw that, I wanted to make the watch using the same technique. First we have to construct the cookies. I'm gonna use 2 round cookies as the base shape of my watch, and then 1 cookie we have to build a dial or a handle, I'd say handle where the dial is. So for this part I'm going to use portion of key cookie cutter, the top portion, and you just have to insert it into the opening that you made, and that's it. It's gonna bake like this, and once baked it's gonna stick together. If you have a small hard cookie cutter, you can also cut out a piece from the handle so it looks a little prettier. If you don't have a small hard, you can also use a round or oval shape. And then you have to bake these cookies. Once baked, we're gonna have to cut out a round from the freshly baked cookie. You wanna cut it out while the cookie is still hot. And now we can prepare the Isomalt. So this is the Isomalt. It's basically pre-treated Isomalt. So what it means, you can just melt it in a microwave and then use it to make the gems, diamonds, and things like that. I like to break it into smaller pieces so it heats up evenly in a microwave. And you want to microwave it for about 30 seconds and then stir it, and then add another 30 seconds or so until it's all melted like this. You can see there's a foam on the top. You want to stir it a little bit to remove bubbles, and you can see it's clearing up and there's no more foam. So I think we are ready to pour this in. I'm gonna line my surface with parchment paper. I recommend parchment paper. Do not use wax paper. Isomalt tends to stick to wax paper. And what I did, I flipped the cookie over, as you noticed, hopefully you noticed, and then you can pour in the Isomalt. Isomalt is very hot, so do not try to touch it with your hands. I see I have some bubbles there, so I'm trying to pop them out with a needle tool. And then you have to let it cool for about 10 minutes or so. And then you can flip it over and just peel off the parchment paper. You can see it's a little cloudy. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a piece of paper towel and a little bit of vegetable oil and just very, very gently rub it onto the top. And now we're ready to decorate this with royal icing. So to color my royal icing, I used gold, emery color, and also some lemon color. To decorate the handle, I'm just gonna mark where the dial is gonna be approximately, so I know where to pipe. Okay, now I'm gonna mark where the top portion of my watch is meeting the bottom, so I don't put too much icing on the bottom cookie. So when we seal the bottom and top, there's a nice seam. Okay, so using the same cookie cutter that we used to cut out the round from the top that now is filled with a glass or Isomalt that I'm gonna refer to as glass. Using the cutter, mark the area on the bottom portion of your watch piece and flood it with white royal icing. For this part you could also use edible frosting sheets. You can have an image printed with the numbers and everything. If you wanted to do that, you can definitely do that. I don't have a printer, so I'm using royal icing. And now we're gonna airbrush. So as you see, my stencil is kind of small, so I wanted to avoid overspraying. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cover the whole thing with plastic wrap and just cut out a small opening in the center just so I can put my stencil in. And then we can airbrush with red food coloring. You can also paint this if you don't have an airbrush. Oh, as you see, there is some overspray, a little bit of it, so while still wet, I'm just gonna wipe it off with a little damp paper towel. To write the numbers, I'm gonna use a little template that I made, and on the outer portion I'm just marking the spots where the numbers should be. This is just for the reference in case I move my template underneath. And then using edible marker with a fine tip, you can start writing the numbers. Alright, once you have the numbers, it's time to finish the dial. You can also decorate the top of the watch. I'm only adding little dots, and then we have to also add the arms. To make your cookies spark a little bit, you can mix yellow luster dust with some vodka, and you can brush this evenly on the top of the dried royal icing. You want to dip your brush in and then gently remove the excess so you don't oversaturate your royal icing. Alright, and now it's time to put this all together. So on the bottom of your top glass portion, you just want to apply a little bit of royal icing. Do not apply too much, otherwise the icing can ooze out, and we don't want that. And then you can carefully position it on your bottom piece. And then I'd say let it dry for a couple hours until it holds together. And that's how you make edible Alice in Wonderland pocket watch. I would probably use this as a decoration for your cake, or you can also use it as an edible centerpiece. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.